Maya, can I just ask you a question to clarify for anyone who's wondering? People hear words like hard left and Black Lives Matter, Marxism, and all these things. They think, hang on a minute, what have Black people got to do with the hard left, and what does hard left even mean? So for somebody who's listening out there thinking, what on earth have these issues got to do? We're talking about Britain being institutionally racist. What has that got to do with hard left and Marxism and some of these other things you've mentioned? Where is the evidence for that?
Well, so firstly, you asked, what's it got to do with Black people, far left, or any of this? Well, it doesn't. That's why the majority of Black people are not supporting Black Lives Matter. This is not a actual issue with people who are non-white. The whole point of it is that the left, generally speaking, have always been very good with language, and they've always been winning the battle of language. So they come up with certain phrases and names and they embrace them. Compassion is one of those that you mentioned earlier, and equality, the word equality for some reason. So if you try to argue against the policy that they are providing under the umbrella of equality or compassion, then that they say, that means you hate people. That means you don't like compassion. Same applies to Black Lives Matter. The branding is Black Lives Matter. So if you argue against the organization, that means you don't like Black people. This is the far left, by the far left, I'm talking about the original Marxists and communists who take advantage of people, whether everybody, young people, non-white people, over the last few years, Muslims who come to the West, they try to take advantage of them. They tell them you are a victim and I'm your savior, support me, and I'll make your life better. In reality, that's not going to happen.
I think as well, it's important to note at the sort of BLM marches to highlight that they are sort of run by the far left. The majority of people at a lot of these marches aren't actually Black. It's middle-class white liberals who are trying to stir up division. And you can see this as well, because they claim to sort of defend all Black people, all Black Lives Matter, unless you're a Black conservative or a Black police officer. Again, there was no outcry over the killing of a Black police officer at a Black Lives Matter demonstration in the US. And so it's very clear that it's not actually so much about race relations, and it's more about sort of far left ideology. And
have you got any evidence that points to what you're saying, that most Black people don't support Black Lives Matter? Or
so I would say on the march is just
people go to find this information, because obviously Sasha's not here to be able to present the other side. So where can people go to try and get a different, or to try and research what you're saying?
But the latest opinion poll that was done by YouGov 3-4 weeks ago, you can Google it, based on the debate on statues and Black Lives Matter, how many people supported, only 7% of Black people, sorry, that was a different one, 13% supported the whole thing, and 7% said, yeah, we should bring down the statues as well. So that's, I know it's just a survey, but obviously that's how you get the stats overall. And the fact that you don't see millions of Black people actually marching. You had 100 people today, and the majority were white. The majority of the people in charge of the Black Lives Matter are white. They've launched a new party yesterday called something TTIP, like Taking the Initiative, which makes absolutely no sense. And it says it's going to be a Black-led party, which is also racist. But then the people who are helping managing it are middle-class, white, spoiled kids. I'm like, okay, good luck with that.